5:30. Everybody, it's 5:30. We're going to start this workshop. First, everybody pay attention to the rules of conduct. It's on the bulletin board. And the Sergeant of Arms is Eubank and Call. That being said, we're going to start the citizen forum. The first person on the list is Aaron Holiday. State your name and address for the record, and appreciate you coming.
Thank you, Mayor. Aaron Holiday, 2034 Abingdon Drive here in Laverne. I am the school board representative for this area, and I get voted out of office tonight here on Elections Day. August 30th, I will wrap up my second term and bring greetings to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen from the school board. August 14th, we will have a regularly scheduled meeting with the school board, and after that meeting, we have scheduled an executive session where we will discuss school safety. And we anticipate that we'll continue to prioritize developments for the school system for school safety. We're allowed to have that executive session to speak about contracts or to speak about school safety, and we do that in executive session so that our plans are kept confidential and are secure in that way. In addition to that, we've welcomed our new Director of Schools, Mr. Bill Spurlock, to his position, and we'll be hearing from him about goals for the coming year. And all of these things are very exciting, as well as the new people that represent both Zone 4 and Zone 1, seats that myself and Wayne Blair have held, and will be transition points. Those people will be new representatives, and both of them cover portions of the city of Laverne, and I'm sure that you'll want to make their acquaintance as they're elected later this evening. So I just wanted to bring those greetings, and I appreciate the board allowing me a moment to speak.
Pass that down. Oops, I dropped both of them pens. The next on the list is Roger French. You come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Roger French, 2106 Montgomery Lane, Laverne, Tennessee. The reason I'm here at this forum is I want to address the issue of fireworks. In Laverne, we have 17 days of fireworks going off. That's nuts. 17 days of amateurs running around in their backyard shooting explosives over our houses, our swimming pools, and it scares the hell out of a lot of dogs, babies, and we have veterans that suffer from post-traumatic, that these fireworks going off like this really tears them people up, and we owe it to the veterans to knock this off and make it 2 or 3 days if we're going to be a professional city like Smyrna, Murfreesboro, Nashville, or do we want to still be above a town of Laverne? It's got to change, and it should change for the better of Laverne. Thank you.
Seeing no one else on the forum to speak, being after 5:30, we're going to go right into the workshop agenda. This is the Mayor and Alderman Workshop for August 2nd, 2018. The prayer will be I'll have the prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be Alderman Jones. And the meeting won't be Tuesday night because of National Night Out. It's moved to the Thursday. So we usually have it to Tuesday after the workshop, but it'll be a week from the night. Down to order of business, we need to look over the minutes of June 28th, 2018, public hearing. Also June 28th, 2018, special meeting. July 3rd, 2018, regular meeting. And July 19th, 2018, special meeting. We do have 2 presentations. That's for meeting only. Down to old business, second reading, ordinance 2018-20, an ordinance to amend Title 20, Chapter 2, Section 20-208 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding park and recreation user fees. We had it on first reading And AC, you want to bring us back up to date on this? Is AC here? He was here earlier. Bruce, you want to just kind of recap us?
Yes, sir. This is basically adding a section regarding vendor permits to cover the cost of doing background checks for any vendors that are going to be in the parks. We realized that we were lacking in that area, so we decided to add that. But basically, this is just dealing with adding vendor permits for the parks.
Any questions on that? I know we had it on first reading, now it puts it down a consent agenda. Number 1A, or A1 is bid sewer system rehabilitation, Fergus Road drainage basin.
Yes, sir. Mayor Alderman, good afternoon. Mr. Hall couldn't be here tonight, so I'll speak on his behalf. For the Fergus Road Drainage Basin Project, the rehab project, bids were received and open, with the low bidder being SBW Construction. Neil has reviewed their credentials and recommends that we reward them the contract. The probable cost estimate was $542,000 per CTI, but the bid come in at $460,281. So again, the recommendation from CTI was to award that to SBW Construction.
Any questions? Thank you. That puts it down
Thanks,
to
sir.
bid brush truck for street department. Felicia?
Yes, sir, Mayor and Alderman. This brush truck did come out at a little bit over what we had budgeted, but in the meantime of trying to see if we could do NJPA, there was a difference in pricing. I feel like that we should still let them have it. I think that Garland can, during the course of the year, I think that $2,000 would be flushed out and not used somewhere else. And they don't ask for much, but we do need another brush truck. Any questions? Okay. The next one is the fire apparatus repair and maintenance. This is a specifically has to be a Sutphen Mechanics, and Sutphen has to approve them. And so Southeast Fire was the only bidder, but that was the only bidder we expected to get because they're the only shop in Tennessee for Sutphen equipment.
I do have a question on this. What equipment is covered under this contract? Is it only the diesel level trucks, or does it also include the entire fleet of the SUVs
The entire
and
fleet
trucks?
is sent through Southeast.
And does that include the trailers as well?
Yes, ma'am. They can work on, now that our hazmat trailer is pretty much out of warranty from the vendor that built it for us, they have actually done some repairs and work on it for us. If it's something like an air conditioner or something on that, we usually use whoever's got our high vac contract. If it's electric or something like that, we use our electrical contractor. But yeah, they can work on that equipment as well. If it's something that Garland and them can do, like tires on our SUVs or batteries or general maintenance on that, since they're not, they're not considered the same as the pumpers and the ladders and things like that. So they're able to service those for them. So we still do that through our own shop here. This is just basically for the pumpers, the aerial ladders, anything that has to have an emergency vehicle technician level training. And then since our fleet is relatively new of Sutphens, the reason that we ask that it be that is because we still have quite a bit of warranty, not on the chassis, the bumper-to-bumper portion of it, obviously, because it's just a year. But like the aerials, they're 20 years. So that's the reason that we specify that it needs to be an EVT service from Sutphen themselves. They advised us yesterday, they're also going to be the sole provider of Hale fire pump service. They put in to be the sole source for that in Middle Tennessee, and they've obtained that. And as of next month, they'll be the sole service Hale pump repair for Middle Tennessee. So, which again, those are the pumps that we have on our trucks. So they've kind of locked themselves in. These other vendors have a chance to do, like the Hale, they could go out and try to get that. Now, the Sutphen, obviously, they're not gonna have 4 or 5 different sales centers in one state. So whoever generally gets the contract for the majority of what equipment runs in a municipality, whoever gets that EVT mechanic license from that vendor of truck generally is who gets maintenance contracts.
Any further questions? Who changes oil in the trucks we got now over the fire department?
They do. It's currently at Southeast. Cumberland was the one that had our business before because Cumberland had the Sutphen contract. Sutphen pulled out of Cumberland, and they just shut down. The mechanics, though, that were all working for Cumberland went together and opened their own shop, and then Southeast Fire, which is where we got our 2 smaller trucks from, up in Corbin, Kentucky, they decided to partner in with that group of mechanics, and they're now operating here out of Middle Tennessee. So that's why now it's back to Southeast Fire. But it's the same mechanics that I've been dealing with for 10 or 15 years. So we still have that same rapport and relationship with them.
Okay.
And I would like to add there, though, they have never gone up on their pricing until this year.
Right.
So they have been very fair.
The other
With
two,
the pricing.
I can tell you the other 2 EVT mechanic shops in Middle Tennessee, their rates are well over $100 an hour. I do know that. For fire apparatus and RVs. They classify that type of mechanic work in the same category. So they had honored us at $85.50 for as long as I've been here until this year. But part of that is because they're trying to start back up again on their own. But even at that, their rate's probably still about $10 cheaper than everybody else per hour. And we all know the labor is what eats us up. Most of the time, the labor is 2, 3, 4 times what the cost of the materials to repair are.
Down number 4, state contract pricing for dump truck for stormwater department.
Yes, during the budgets, a dump truck was put in for stormwater, and this is, at $89,963. And this is a state contract pricing truck, so we did not have to bid it.
We're down to 5, that's pickup truck for stormwater department.
Also, during the budget, there was discussion, and it was allowed that stormwater would be able to purchase a large pickup truck. They chose to go with the Chevy 2500 versus a Ford. I don't think I need to elaborate there on the situation there, but anyway, I think $30,632 is a very fair price. They budgeted budgeted $35,000 for this vehicle.
Is it a 4-wheel drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I do believe it is.
Diesel or gas?
It's gas. And it has the toggle switches already on it. It has the trailer and equipment on it. It has everything they need to pull a trailer already on it.
Good deal.
Any further questions, sir?
That puts item number 6, GSA contract pricing for copy machines for the finance department.
Yes, sir. That actually is for the purchasing department. We do have Pam and I share a copier, and we do have a lot of people come use our small copier, and it is fading fast, and we discussed it with Glenn, and he said we had pretty much the best we could buy, and he suggested that we go with MTR and get one of the small ones like they have in April's office.
Push down number 7, sole source purchase, bioxide,
It's bioxide and VX
Chemical.
456.
for sewer department.
Yes, sir. This is a sole source. This is a Metro thing. Metro requires us to use this, and we really don't have a choice. We've tried in the past different chemicals in place of bioxide, and it did not work at all. We had to go back to bioxide, so.
We're down to number 8, servers, purchase dirt and rock screening bucket for the stormwater department.
This is for the stormwater department. It is not in their budget, but my understanding is, Catherine did a memo for you all. And they need the bucket that, this will help them so that they won't waste as much dirt and they'll be able to get the rock out of the ground and salvage dirt, not have to buy as much dirt.
Is this something like a shifting?
My understanding from the
like a
pictures
shifting
that I've got, it's
machine?
like a shifting machine. That'll shake it'll shake the dirt back into the ground when they're doing a project.
Move down to B. Approve change order number 2 for the Lower East Hurricane Creek Interceptor Sewer Line Project. Michael?
Yes, sir, back again. This is for the Lower East Hurricane Creek Interceptor Sewer Project. The contractor has requested 45 additional days due to the weather. Back in February, March, as y'all recall, it was pretty wet. Again, Neil has reviewed it and recommends that we give the additional time to the contractor. On down in the memo, you'll see another concern with the gas line located on Waldron Road. That issue was resolved. We discussed that last week. We're going to have clearance now with the sewer line, so that should not hold the project up. Any questions?
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
We're down to C, approve agreement with Tennessee Department of Safety, Homeland Security Participation of Tennessee Advanced Communication Network. Chief, you know what today is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
The 2nd of August, Thursday, Election Day. And everybody's last day except us and the fire.
Right.
Is that right? Now, I don't know, he's going on vacation, though. He may not be
Not till the
here.
5th, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
still,
All right.
this is still Thursday for me.
There is a contract that, God bless him, we've hit Evan with about anything and everything. He's probably read more in the last week or so than he has in a while, just for the stuff we've been shooting at him with service agreements and so on and so forth. But at least the state's not as bad as the feds are. So this one shouldn't be too complicated. We got another one, and the young lady that is the attorney with Department of Safety and Homeland Security with our radio communications network, our Tennessee Advanced Communications Network, has been very agreeable to work and has resubmitted, and Evan is working toward that, and we should be at a point to where you all can discuss it and approve that agreement. Up front, we have to have that before we can really get cranked up. Motorola still doesn't, for your information, doesn't have our pricing totally set. They found a couple of things they're going to have to go back and look at and try to figure out how they can, because we're going to need to microwave from somewhere here or over off Fergus in a location and do some things so that we can microwave our information for dispatch to Cane Ridge, and then hopefully maybe then back to Smyrna too, to the hill over there where the towers are, so that we have the microwave ability, and then we have the underground stuff too, to have repetitious dual connectivity so that we can still talk. It's probably going to be about what you all budgeted. I think it may be a little more, maybe a little less. We don't know yet for that part, but the contract itself should be ready to go, and that puts us on line with the footing to actually begin working with Tennessee Department of Safety, Homeland Security, and getting ready to hopefully give Metro a point in time that we're going to end our agreement with them and then pick up with the state. And I think you all know kind of what that means. It's $200 per radio per year to connect to that communications network, and those are our costs to do that. And with Metro, it's about 80 now, 70-something, 80-something thousand now with our annual contract with Metro. So we're going to save some money, about half. Questions?
Thank you, Chief. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Down to number D, approve change order number 1, final, for the commercial industrial water meter change-out project. This has been a long-going deal, and we're all glad this is finished. Any questions on it? Number E, approve proposal for Griggs and Maloney Incorporated to provide engineering service for the McFarland Water Tank Improvement Project. That's something everybody in that neighborhood would be glad to get done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Ryan Maloney with Griggs and Maloney. What you have in front of you in your packet is the engineering services proposal that covers design, bidding, and construction administration for those tank improvements. And I ask if you have any questions around that proposal at this time.
Only thing, I've got a lot of calls over the last 6 or 8 months. The residents that live right around the tires said, when is the city gonna paint the tires? So this gonna include painting the tire.
Yes, sir. That's the primary purpose of this maintenance.
I know the residents around there will be happy.
We'll make it look good.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That puts down a new business, number 5, first reading, ordinance 2018-21, an ordinance to amend Title 7, Chapter 6 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding fireworks. This is a first reading, it's ordinance. Bruce, you want to kick us off?
I can start on this, yes, sir. After everything that happened in July with complaints and whatever with the fireworks and shooting, I was requested to amend this section, find out what other cities were doing around us. If you go to, it's page 96 of the packet, you'll see what I found that other cities have as far as their regulations for both sales and for discharge. So what I did is I kind of took, especially what Smyrna and Murfreesboro do, since they are our neighbors around us, and I amended the section for discharge and changed that to July 2nd through July 5th. Now, as you'll see, for Smyrna and Murfreesboro, they both use July 3rd, I believe, through the 5th for discharge. And then also the hours of discharge are basically left alone as far as 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. But on July 4th, we used to go until 1 o'clock a.m. the following morning for July 4th and December 31st. Changed that to 11 o'clock p.m. So we worked on that and made those changes. The actual dates for the sale of fireworks, we have not changed. They are currently still at June 20 through July 5th, and then December 20th through January 2nd. If you go to page 95 of the packet, there are some optional things, whether or not the board wants to do. We can certainly discuss, and if the board wants to make these changes, these two changes would have to go through the Planning Commission first, because they are amendments to the zoning ordinance. So it would go to Planning Commission for a recommendation, then come back through this board for approval. The first is the temporary use regulations for the fireworks tent. It currently has dates of sale, or permits to be issued to allow fireworks tents, rather, between June 21st and July 5th, or between December 19th and January the 2nd. My personal opinion, if we're going to change that, we only need to have dates in one location instead of having dates listed in the zoning ordinance and dates listed in the municipal code. We just need to have one set of dates and refer from the other location back to that one set of dates, and just make it a whole lot more simple. The other option that we can change through the zoning ordinance is the actual fee for the temporary use permit for the fireworks tent. Currently, I believe we charge $250 for that tent fee per season. Murfreesboro charges, I believe, $500 per year, and Smyrna charges $750 per season. So we are obviously lower than what those two cities have. So the proposal has been made to raise that fee from $250 to $500. So there again, those are options that this board, if you want us to send that through the planning commission for recommendation and bring back to you guys, we can certainly do that. But these are the proposed changes that we currently have on the table for the fireworks.
And that was limited just the fireworks tents, because we do have two businesses that's open year-round that basically, I guess, wholesales fireworks
Correct.
and retail. They would be excluded from this ordinance?
Well, for the fireworks tents, that's why there's two different sets of dates. If the tents are specifically from the zoning ordinance.
Right.
Those dates there. But if we take those dates and refer back to the dates that are in the municipal code, we would just have one set of dates. Now, the dates for the stores themselves, they would have to fall under what's in the municipal code as far as sale dates. So they have to go by June 20th through July 5th.
Okay, that might be a Evan question there, because we do have two businesses that sells. It's got a permanent structure, been selling for years and years. That might be something we have to look at legally, because if we limited them just for a few days, that could put them out of business.
Well, yeah, it's something we should look at.
You know, look at that, because I know we got two structures, and if we could do it for 10 only and excluded them, check on that, because we might be opening ourselves to some litigation on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any further questions? Hearing none, I guess we'll go down to number 6. First reading ordinance 2018-22, ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2017-2018 general fund budget. This is something we basically do every year. Phyllis is here if anybody has any questions. Anybody have any questions? We move on to number 7. This is a resolution 2018-17, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city needs and direct disposal of the same. Who's got this one?
Mayor, I can speak to this. There are a total of 4 different vehicles that are on the list this month, 2 of which are from the fire department and 2 of which are from the police department. For the fire department, you have one of our old pumpers that we really just took out of service like this week. So they're wanting to go ahead and put that up for auction. And then the other is the 1999 Ford Crown Victoria that has been around for a long, long time, and they lovingly call it the show car. So that's time that we dispose of that. The police department has 2 different vehicles in there that they have been awarded by the courts. So those are ready to be auctioned off as well.
Any questions? Number 8, a resolution 2018-18, a resolution to accept the 5486 Murfreesboro Road subdivision, and it received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on April 24th, 2018. And is this the old Dunn Brothers property over there next to the pipe company, Kyle?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Moving on to number 9, resolution 2018-19, a resolution to authorize the city of Laverne to participate in a TML risk management pool, safety partners, matching grant program. Bruce?
This is a grant that we apply for each year. It is a matching grant. I believe it's up to $5,000 in matching funds. This year, they're asking for equipment to help with the fire department. And Rick, you could probably explain the actual equipment better than I could. But this is, there again, this is a grant that we apply for every year. through the TML risk management pool. And this year, we're looking to buy some training equipment for the fire department.
Any further questions? No.
Training equipment.
Huh?
Computer driving training equipment.
Good deal.
Help with our EVOC training, Vanessa K-free training, which is annual training that we have.
Number 10, motion to approve or reject a settlement offer for the Stacy Thompson lawsuit. An executive session will be held on August the 9th, 2018 at 5:30. This will be meeting only. Puts us down number 11, recommendation for the Integrated Resource Management Incorporated regarding the Laverne Water System. Bruce?
Yes, sir. A few weeks ago, we did receive the recommendations from Bob Bocock and the Integrated Resource Management Incorporated Group. If you'll recall, they visited us at the end of May and met with the city, and were then taken on a tour of the plant. And we anxiously awaited for several weeks to get the recommendations we knew were going to come, and we did receive them. I have met with staff, and we are we're working on a response to the items that are included in the list of recommendations. And as soon as we get that response ready, we will present it to you. It's not ready at this time because we had some more pressing items that we needed to address that were related to the sanitary survey that the state conducted a while back. And so we had some time limits, the deadlines that we had to meet for those responses. So obviously that was a higher priority, and we will get a response written for these recommendations as soon as we can.
So are you hoping to have that for next month, or do we have a timeline?
As soon as we get the response written, we will forward it on to you, and then hopefully we can have a discussion item again after it's ready on the next workshop or whenever.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions? So that puts us down to mayor and alderman comments. Alderman Brown?
No, thanks.
Alderman Cole?
Just want to thank everybody who went out and voted. I know it's been a busy election season this year. This is 3 of 4 elections, so for the county. And just be sure to tune into all those results. I want to thank Box 100. This past weekend, they partnered with Do It for Brand with a cornhole tournament, very packed. We even have some people who were in it out in the audience tonight. And want to also thank Brother Bill with the Laverne First Baptist Church for inviting me out to the mud and volleyball. That was a lot of fun to get out there and see those kids having fun.
Alderman Jones?
No.
I want to invite everybody out August 11th. I'm having another coffee with the mayor Saturday, August 11th, and from 9 to 10 at Hardee's on Walden Road. And urge everybody, with school starting next week, be aware of the kids on the bus stops on the side of the road. Look out for the big red school buses, because they hadn't been out on the street, and they're going to be out in droves. Be aware of them. And remember, you can't text or be on your telephone in school zones. They're going to be hot and heavy, and they'll get you. So don't be sure it's something new that you ain't used to, but if they catch you on texting on the phone, I'm sure Chief Walker's bunch is gonna write you a nasty ticket, and I guarantee you they'll be watching with both eyes, especially school starting. So be aware of that, and appreciate everybody coming. And with that said, I'm gonna call this workshop over.